Hello everyone and welcome back to Locke's Quest. Today we'll be taking on the 3 Source Wells area. Yep. Now we have to defend 3 Source Wells at the same time. Usually this is like the only section in the game where this type of thing will happen, and there are a few other sections where you have to defend something, but usually it's not for long periods of time. Also, this part I actually put my hat into the voice acting pool for one of the characters that we're about to meet. I hope everyone enjoys him. I tried my best to sound like someone else. Yeah, and also I had to cut ahead because I had stopped recording at that point. Them Clockworks are up there. Oh no, that doesn't sound very good at all. And here we go with the voice acting.
Let the peons speak. Child, do you not sense my power? I could crush you right now. No, I will have my other servants handle you. Clockworks, pull back!
That's probably not true, Locke. You probably would not have won anything. Considering Agony in his power, and when we get to fighting him later, God, you would not have won. You'd have lost, especially using stone walls. So, for the first few days of this section of the game, we have to basically capture the 3 Source Wells that we're going to defend. Right now, the Kingdom Force guys will just stay here at the base, and you want to defend them because they're your objective at the moment, next to capture the Source Well. And you want to keep them alive because they are going to also help protect the Source Well to the best of their abilities. And excuse me. And with them defending the Source Well to an extent, they are also going to be just a bit more help because you're going to be running across the entire map during this section. I don't know what I was thinking of putting that wall there. That seems stupid. Sure, I put another turret there, another rotogun turret there. Not rotogun turret, an air clockwork turret there, but come on. Now that was smart. And this is the way I like to make a lot of my turrets and things in Locke's Quest, is to make them choke points where the enemy can't really get through. And since we met the burrow enemies, if you remember correctly, we want to make sure we have burrow traps set up so that going through the burrow trap and end up killing the Kingdom Force. Since Kingdom Force will all attack at the same time, you don't have to really worry about them getting killed by the burrow enemies since they're so weak, but just to be safe. One thing I would really like to have seen in a sequel of Locke's Quest, if they had ever decided to make it, I would have really liked to have seen a timer on the traps. If you understand what I'm meaning, because you never know when the traps are going to reset, so that way they can be used correctly. As you can see, the turret's already attacking the guy. Oh, and this is that special ability that we got, if you remember, the bloodsucker ability, or the vampire ability. And that healer Clockwork is being used. Speaking of which, I don't think we actually saw the healers get introduced on screen, we just saw them. But they're one of my favorite Clockworks, if you remember whining about them earlier. Anyway, this first day is pretty easy. All you have to really do is just capture that one Source Well right there, and then the day practically ends and stuff, if I remember correctly. and there it goes. Like I said, first day's pretty easy because the source well is right next to you. I don't know why they didn't capture it just out of the pure blue. That's one down. We got 2 more to recapture. Now, after each one of the days in the game, or after each one of the battle phases, oh, goodness gracious, locks questing me and yawning. Anyway, after each of the battle phases, you will be given an extra source for your defenses to be built. You wanna, as the days go on, you wanna constantly remove turrets and stuff from that main area where all those Kingdom Force people are. You wanna remove those because those aren't really necessary. After this day, like how you saw my walls, how you saw they were choke point in that area, right? You should probably take down the right wall first and move that onto the source wall there. Then move the left wall down to this one when we get this one done. And then all the Kingdom Force will leave on the third one, so we'll just leave those all together. Probably capture the source wall before the Clockworks split the Kingdom Force. If you want to be out there, this source wall is a bit more defended. I can tell that the Clockworks are getting a bit better at defending what they want, what they have, what they need, compared to before they just leave the source wall. I really don't care much for the vampire ability, just because of the fact that the and there's some walls. Anyway, the vampire ability has it doesn't do as much damage as I'd really like to see more damage done by it, but it doesn't do it for me. I like the acid ability more, actually. And the vampire ability mixed with the acid ability mixed with the strength, with the 10 times strength ability or whatever. You know, that I know that does a lot of damage, but otherwise it doesn't do a lot of damage from either the vampire or acid, because those are constant damage. They aren't just you know, you do a lot of damage to the enemy, like straight up. They're passive aggressive techniques in order to get rid of the enemy's health. Now this one's actually the most well protected, and like this guy says, it is the most locked down of the 3 source wells, because as you can see, the Magician and Clockworks are there, and if you know how I feel about the magic using Clockworks in this game, you know that I hate them with a burning passion. Anyway, we're gonna, after setting up defenses here, I don't really go over the build phase for all the defenses after each one of these times, because that's really up to you and how you feel that's where it should go. I feel, and one other thing, the vampire ability, just to let you know, it does give you, yes, when I first played Lost Quest, like some people might have, I never feeling this way. If you felt that the vampire ability wasn't giving you help, anyway, if you felt the vampire ability didn't give you enough health, it does give you a good amount of health. The problem comes in when you have to get that health from a multiple amount of enemies, and that's just balls annoying. I mean, I'm serious, that's just so irritating. Anyway, about that voice acting clip that I tried to do earlier, I did that on Audacity, which is why I used to record my voice in every time I'm doing these commentaries, just to let you know. So that's my audio recording software, in case you wanted to know. Excuse me. And I screwed myself up here because I can't get out. There's a door there. Anyway, I used Audacity to make that, and if you want to know how to make audio saves, you don't have to go look at the video, I'm not going to say that to you. Just record whatever you say, highlight whatever you said, go to effect, say add echo, and I don't remember the numbers exactly, but I'll put them in the description, and when you say add echo and all that, then add a effect that you can make your voice deeper, which is the way that I did it, where you make your voice deeper. Now I told that I have a relatively deep voice already, so I don't know how that affects like the way that came out. But you make your voice deeper, and then you just the added effect of the echo makes the kind of robotic sound. You can actually do that. I could actually do that with this entire commentary part, just like make myself sound like Darth Vader to an extent, which is the character I was trying to portray, if you couldn't tell. I know my voice is nowhere near as good as James Earl Jones. No one who really, I don't even think of an animated series of Star Wars that could ever make particularly a voice actor that can emulate the mastery of voice that James Earl Jones' voice, but yeah. As you can see, burrow enemies will get into the base and they'll start attacking the Kingdom Force guys. However, the Kingdom Force can defend themselves from these guys pretty easily because the burrow enemies aren't exactly hard to fight, shall I say. God, and this area is just live proof of what's wrong with Locke. The Locke will get stuck on terrain, he just won't move for some reason. He'll get stuck in an area, he'll start doing stuff that makes no sense. His pathfinding, I believe is what the term is. His pathfinding is completely skewed. And sometimes he'll just find ways to get to places that you never would have seen coming, but it takes longer to get stuck under the terrain, the geometry of the world. Which I think they should have reprogrammed as well, and there's no way that this just happened. On the topic of James Earl Jones, we talked about earlier, James Earl Jones is a very good actor. He's been on a lot of movies I've seen, like as of late, or even before I even knew what his name was, but I wasn't into knowing about actors when I was younger. Like, I didn't know that he was the father of Eddie Murphy and Coming to America, or that he was Stephen Kumalo. I didn't know that was his name. James Earl Jones. He also voiced Darth Vader. I didn't know that. He was the voice. He was Stephen Kumalo in the movie version of Cry the Beloved Country, which is a great book, by the way. Slightly religious if you're into that, though I didn't mind it because I am. But anyway, he continues to address me on Arcaneer, and he also was James Earl Jones was also in Othello, which I never knew. He's a very nice voice, I have to admit. Wish I could have mine like his. Anyway, we've completed the defending the 3 source wells. Of course, I believe that was the last day, but of course there are more days to it than I showed, that you're defending the 3 source wells. And if you're defending the 3 source wells, make sure that you say one tip, because this area I actually did get stuck on for about a week when I first played the game. Because when I was younger, I didn't actually understand how to do this. But one tip for playing through this area is to actually use the goo ability compared to the lightning. Yes, even though I say the goo ability sucks and I rag on it a bit, the goo ability actually is a relatively good ability for this section because for one thing, the enemies go slower. And that extra slowness is very useful because there are so many turrets everywhere and walls everywhere that you can't reach in time before they get destroyed or anything by certain enemies. It's better just to have them going slower so the turrets can defend themselves to an extent, compared to you defending them. Also, you saw back there we were getting a lot of scrap metal. That's because this section is right before another section where we will meet another special type of clockwork that can only be defeated by none other than our turrets, but our first helper turret as well. Hey, it's Tobias. Why is he hiding behind a tree? Seriously, when I was younger, I never understood why. Until the end of the game, I still never understood why is it that Tobias has to hide himself in the areas that he hides himself. Because really, even when we discover what he is or who he is, I highly doubt anyone would recognize him considering how he's so much older. Unless he has like the most definable face compared to in his younger form. Like he never looked young. You heard a rumor that there were elite Kingdom Force members that took your granddaughter. Makes perfect sense because, when you really think about it, rumors are always true. Yep, always true. Also, that Kingdom Force Knight has no perspective, has no peripheral vision, as I'll say. He's like a white person in a horror movie. No peripheral vision, and the killer could be literally breathing down your neck. As I look behind myself to make sure no one's behind me, I don't eat my words. Anyway, the killer could be breathing down your neck, and the person will sit there and be surprised when the killer spooks them. Anyway, we're gonna be taking Bluebit with us because he wants to go on the adventure to get steel craft. Anyway, see you all next time in Mox Quest Part 7, where we go to the cemetery. See you then.